All right, look, do you ever see a trash pile on the side of the road of like furniture and things, and you pull over and you pull something out and you put it in your closet and it sits there for 2 years until you have the perfect project to finally do something with it? Then you're gonna love today's episode. Oh baby, this is Laugh Cry DIY. I'm Katie, and we are here in the garage because we are gonna do something violent and dangerous, which is using this late 70s jigsaw to make over a mirror. All right, here's the deal. So years ago at this point, I pulled this mirror off of the side of the road. I picked it up because it was a nice, sizable oval shape. It does have some corrosion around the edges, and it also used to be part of like a weird towel bar thing, so we have some indents and holes on the side. But these imperfections are okay because, like all things in life that are unpleasant, we can simply hide and suppress them by building a wood frame around it. So today's project is one of those projects that is very simple in theory, but somewhat tedious in practice. So we're gonna see if we can make my vision come to life. And most importantly, I'm trying to use all supplies that I already have on hand. And that is going to start with this is the template I drew to create this frame. I'm not gonna spoil where this is going, but let's just say we're doing like a postmodern thing. So we wanted to do a kind of funky, wavy, abstract mirror frame. So basically what I did was I traced the full mirror and I added in the little portions that we're definitely gonna need to cover. And then I created this like wave pattern around it. It's a little loosey-goosey, but I am gonna cut out the shape just to make sure that it lays on the frame correctly. And now you get the ASMR of your dreams. Off camera. All right, guys, look at that. Beautiful. Moment of truth. Does she fit correctly, and does she hide all the unsightly parts of this? Oh, would you look at that? That is beautiful. By the way, one thing I did forget to mention is that this freaking mirror has like a 1/2 inch beveled edge all the way around. So I'm just taping this down flat to make sure that everything lays perfectly over it, that it covers everything it needs to, including the beveled edge, and that it leaves enough of a flat space to actually be able to glue the frame on. Does that make sense? Okay, I think we're ready to trace our template onto the wood. And because we are using everything we have on hand, I am going to make the frame out of this very thin hardboard. In a dream world, this would be thicker, but again, I'm using what I have. I also may or may not be adding something else to it that would need just a thin base. So we're just gonna use this. I might have to cut the template in half to like do 2 sides of this and make the most of it, but we'll see. All right, yeah, I'm already gonna have to cut this in half. All right, so I'm just taping this like flat down at little tiny anchor points so that I can make sure it's a nice, fully flat design. Okay, trace time. Ooh, boom. Okay, I was a little like shaky McGee, so I might smooth out some of these lines. But you know what I also always say? We'll fix it in post, by which I mean we'll just sand it down later if we need to. Guys, I don't know if you can hear how loud the construction next door is, so we're just gonna go ahead and time lapse, and I'm not gonna talk. All right, guys, wow. Look what we have here. 2 parts that form a beautiful frame. Let's see if it fits together, and would you look at that? Oh, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, and she is wavy and abstract like I wanted her to be. Alrighty, guys, let's get the hell out of this garage. All right, party people, we are back. We have our very thin frame. Now, I did want to show you, I wanted to kind of put a brace to like keep these little pieces together. So if you can see on the back, I used some edge banding, which is like wood with glue on the back, and it's a little bit flexible. You could do popsicle sticks or something, or another piece of wood. I just wanted something very like thin again. So we have our very simple base, and now we're gonna do something very dramatic, which is, well guys, this is the part in a project where you try to create a simple frame with supplies you have on hand, and all you end up with is a moment of hell. So look, here's the situation. This is not my first time trying to make this mirror frame. I made one out of air dry clay, and then I woke up in the morning, and by the time it dried, it had all cracked apart. So I decided, what if we made this simple, thin wood frame, and then we did the clay over that, and now it would have a solid structure and it should be better. And when I woke up in the morning, the clay, because it's air dry clay, had shrunk and cracked again. And I decided to try to fix this. So I glued all the pieces down and I joint compounded in between them and I sanded them. And then when I went to lift them up again, The clay cracked anyways. So by this point, I was feeling homicidal and I had to rip it all apart. So this is where we're at. We have a frame covered in peeled off glue that I just can't deal with from various clay attempts. So I decided to throw a Hail Mary and do one last thing, which I probably should have done from the beginning because I do want this to stay pretty light on the actual frame part, and that is using spray foam. This is spray foam sealer that you spray and it expands. And I'm thinking that if we can just do a light touch of this and it can expand and dry, we can sand it down and maybe we will make a simple, easy frame. But first, safety gear, because this stuff is very toxic. Oh, don't mind me. I just had to spend 10 minutes clearing out the wet paint that had somehow spilled in a bag of supplies into the nozzle of my spray foam. Why is this mirror trying to kill me? Guys, we're back to our 5th location of this video. Here's where we're at. We have a really gross dry spray foam frame. And now my idea is to take this little file and just trim the whole thing up so that we just have a really thin layer. Get ready for some good ASMR. Look at that, beautiful. Once you take that foam sealant off, like once you grind it down, it is all porous and foamy. So my idea is to go back over this with like a spackle or joint compound, just to create a very thin layer to smooth that out. These are all the things I'm telling myself about this project. So let's sand. Okay guys, here we are now. So I used this Dry Dex joint compound. It's pink and it dries white when it's done. So as you can see, it has dried all the way. And now we are using a piece of 220 super fine grade sandpaper to sand this baby down. And I'm doing my best to spot any little divot, any little weird lump or shape. It might not be perfect. It actually might end up looking a little bit like the clay frame I was trying to do, but that's okay. You just have to be gentle and have like a real eagle eye. I'm even gonna use a flashlight to do this. And yes, you're gonna be here forever. And yes, you're gonna feel like you're doing CSI investigations. Truly guys, this is kind of maddening and this is not the way I would have normally done it. Again, we're trying to save supplies by using what we have on hand, and sometimes it takes 2,400 times longer. Also, if you haven't watched my channel before, I will often work like a serial killer where I will do a series of little projects that are a mystery and then they all come together later in the makeover. What do you think, Kat, who has been here the whole time? Is it gonna work? Do you like it? Do you care? All right, I think we're gonna clean this up and get ready to prime. Okay, we're back and we're gonna paint this the official color of this episode, which is a bold, a bright, and a very shocking color called Beacon Blue. All right, party people, we are back and we are painted. And we also painted the bottom because when you put this down, it's gonna reflect, and so you would see a wood side reflected underneath. Just so you know. And now the last thing we're gonna do is grab some E6000 and glue and weight this bad baby down. I don't know how thrilling this is, but we're doing it all the way around the edge. Okay, last chance for me to decide if I want this way or this way. It really doesn't matter at this point. So we're just gonna layer straight on this way. And lastly, we need weights. Photo albums. More photo albums. All right, guys. This has been chaos, and I think you are finally, officially, and very excitingly ready for your final reveal. Okay, look guys, listen. It's nearly impossible to film good after photos of a mirror because it will reflect a bunch of junk, but I just want to say it came out not half bad. And for everything I went through, that's pretty good. But surprise, surprise, guys, this is not the space this is going in. So you're gonna have to stay tuned for a future episode to really find out where she's actually gonna live, and then it can reflect anything it wants. So thank you for joining me on this journey to create a simple mirror frame in the most complicated way possible. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope you're glad it wasn't you. Okay, bye.